Some thoughts on Giro shoes. Mostly this is a mini review of the new-ish Giro Sector mountain bike shoe compared to the Empire VR90. So I have been wearing Giro shoes on the road and the mountains for probably 7-ish years now. Well, I've been wearing Giro shoes since I bought my first bike. Every pair of mountain bike and site road shoes I've ever owned have been Giro. I've been using Giro Empire shoes for about 7 years now. So, Giro Empire ACC, all carbon sole, the Easton EC90 road shoe. And I also had the Empire Giro, or the Giro Empire VR90 mountain bike shoes. So this is the first pair I had. They kind of, they look rough right now, so I've been racing cyclocross in them. I wore these for years. I raced Leadville in these shoes. I raced the Boise Trails Challenge twice in these shoes. They've done thousands of miles, and the upper has held up amazingly well. Sole showing some wear, but has overall have held up well. But the carbon, it's really hard to tell here, but the carbon has essentially been carved out underneath the cleats from clipping in so many times. And it got to where if this dirt wasn't here, you could see almost a gap to the screws under there. And I didn't want to find out what the failure point was at a point when it really mattered. And so these have been well worn. So I bought a new pair. So I got this pair, bought them last February, started breaking them in, just had a few hundred miles on them, was racing the Boise Trails Challenge, and about middle of the day on day 2, this big chunk of the sole ripped off. I was kind of coming to a sudden stop, kind of bucked off the trail, went out, stuck my foot down, and it's like it just ripped that chunk off. It didn't seem like it was like there's only a little bit of glue right here, and everything just fell off, so it was kind of just hanging here, flapping. I ripped that off, finished the Boise Trails Challenge like that, and kind of went back to wearing my other shoes at that point. September, I was driving home from Lodija. This color was showing up on a closeout, and I kind of liked them. All the blue is reflective. Hard to pick that up, but reflective, looks cool. I think they're around $125, something like that. So pretty good price on those. And so I ordered those, started riding with those in September. And this time I added these shields that make it so now the cleats won't wear out the carbon sole. They're a Crank Brothers product. Just got a new pair of them. So I added those. After buying these, then I finally got around to calling Giro from a warranty standpoint on these, because I felt like this shouldn't have failed like this. And so I called Giro. So shout out to their customer service, was super easy to deal with. I got a person who was in America and just, oh, hey, what do you need? I said, chunk of my sole ripped off. She said, send a couple pictures. Sent pictures. The next day, she sent an email back and said, okay, definitely looks like a problem. Those shoes have been discontinued. So can we send you our new Sector shoes? I just did a quick look, said, sure, whatever. I mean, I don't know what they said. I said no. Yep, that'll be fine. So, new Sector shoes showed up. I have pretty narrow feet, so that's why I have always used lace-up shoes, because I can make them fit well. I can kind of dial in the pressure specifically all along there and adjust that and make them fit exactly how I want. And both road and mountain, that's been true. So I've been a fan, and I have watched a lot of BOA dials fail, both road and mountain. I've been on road rides where people's BOAs broke mid-ride, and there's really nothing you can do about that. I've been on multiple mountain bike rides where I've watched people's BOA dials fail, and you're just kind of stuck. A good friend of mine, Junior, that I've worked with, was at a NICA race. He got tangled up right at the start. And I'm not sure what part hit him, but something caught his BOA dial. It just ripped it out of his shoe, was dangling. We ended up just duct taping, not we, but his coach at the time duct taped his shoe together, and he rode like that. I have never had a single failure in multiple crashes, things like that, with lace-up shoes, as well as being able to get a fit that has really worked well for me. So that's my first just hesitation on it. I've broken a couple laces, and I just tie it back together and go on about my ride, and then I go home and buy new laces or put in new laces. Most of the Giro lace-up shoes always come with 2 pair of laces, and so that I've always had extras sitting around. I think I still have extras sitting somewhere. So that, I've got some hesitation there. That said, I have put 5 hours on these shoes the last couple days on the trainer. I've just sitting on the trainer, seeing what they feel like. I put my mountain pedals onto my road bike, and it really is, you can click, 1 millimeter at a time is what they claim the adjustment is. And it does allow you to get a very comfortable fit, good fit. But from an overall performance shoe standpoint, I feel like the new Sectors are a step down from the Empires. And they, if they're truly discontinuing these, like they told me, and that's what's showing up on websites, these aren't a full replacement. They do come in at a slightly cheaper price point, but all of the Empires have this full Easton carbon sole. This is a stiff, full carbon plate on the entire shoe. It claims there's a carbon composite plate or some wording like that, but this is all plastic. Everything here, this is rubber here, this is plastic here. So there may be a carbon plate somewhere in that's smaller, but everything here on the surface is plastic. The Giro Empire used a Vibram sole. Follow backpacking, anything like that, work boots. The Vibram soles give really good grip and really good wear. That's gone. This is definitely a different type of rubber material here. Whether it's better, can't say, but it is definitely different. It's definitely not Vibram. So that's one of the first things that stands out. The next is where the screws go on for threading in to front toe cleats for like cyclocross, anything where you may be off the bike. They have these protective shields, and this sits flush, and it seems to do a pretty good job of protecting these screws, making them so this stays in good shape for getting those cleats in and out, despite the fact they end up crazy worn. I've never had a problem getting those out when I've swapped the toe cleats for cyclocross season. These are not recessed in the same way. The edges of the screws protrude out, and I don't, you can kind of see it there. If I get it against the blue background, I feel like these are definitely going to get beat up more, so I'm not sure about that. I will for sure. I ordered these shields because they're going to go in place here, just to keep the wear off of this plastic, and it just seems to give a little extra protection there. After seeing what happened to my first pair of mountain bike shoes, I'm definitely going to use those shields. But they weren't here. They came today, and wanted to ride the last few days. The upper material is definitely different. This is a pretty, it's kind of a hard material. It like a fake leather. But it's been very good. It breaks in okay. It maintains its integrity really well. These are years old, and this upper has held up through, just terrible abuse. Cyclocross season, these shoes have looked like this multiple times. I get them cleaned up, and they just go back to working. So this is definitely different. They call this their sink wire upper material. It's thinner. You can actually almost see through all of these gray parts. Are soft, and you can see light through them. If you look through the shoe this way, they're thin. I think if you go through a creek, you're getting wet feet here, which doesn't really, these are vented, but it's not quite the same. These do a pretty good job of keeping you dry, which I think on a mountain bike shoe is a big deal. That said, these, because they're a much softer material, they form fit around the feet. The BOA dial kind of dials them in, and they made a super comfortable fit. They felt broken in from the first pedal stroke. There's rubber protector here on the toe. So it should help. This part is more rubberized. All the black is more rubberized. It's like there's a coating on it or something over the top of the sink wire material. But all these gray parts are left open, and water and air are going to get through there. On a hot day, might be great. I actually kind of wish that they'd sent me the white color. I tried not to be picky since they were just sending me warranty stuff, so I didn't put a request in. Since the ones I was warranting were black, they sent black. But I think the white ones would have been maybe a little cooler on a hot day. The tongue, overall, the tongue feels like it's kind of the same material as what they had used on the prior ones. But on the inside, the tongues this material is different. This feels like a soft leather material almost in here. And this is some sort of a cloth type stuff on the inside. So definitely a difference there. I don't know if it's better, but I feel like this will be a little harder to keep clean and potentially picks up more stuff. Where this is a smooth leather material, like nothing can get stuck into that. You can wipe it out, wash it out, no dust sticks into that. Where dust and dirt is going to stick in whatever this material is here. Now the main inner part on the Empire VR90s, this is like I can't even describe it, but it's a rubberized, there's no texture to it really. It's just a smooth rubberized coating in there almost, and it makes it so no dirt can stick into that. It's like a foam coating. I don't know how you describe it, but it's a rubberized stuff that cheatgrass does not stick in this. Dirt doesn't stick in this. So anytime anything gets in here, you can just wipe it out, and it stays clean. There's nowhere on the inside where like a cheatgrass or something like that can stick. In the sectors, this is just a cloth. This is a textured cloth. cheatgrass is going to stick in that. I know just, you know, foxtails, whatever you call them in other places. I just know it as cheatgrass. Is definitely going to stick in this, and I think cause problems. Dirt gets in there and just kind of grinds in, and I think is going to stick in there and be harder to clean. So I'm not convinced that, I don't think this is a step up from what they've done here. This was a more premium shoe, and I don't know if they just haven't gotten around to replacing it, or if this is the new premier shoe from Giro. But it doesn't seem like it's gonna be quite as great for mountain biking as what this shoe is. Like I've got 3 pair because I really love them. This one, you know, on the interior of here in the high wear spots, there is no wear in there. There's no notable wear on the interior of that shoe. Or my son has shoes that were new to him this year that have a hole in the back side of some similar fabric to this material. And they're a pair of Bontrager shoes, but I can just feel like that potentially is what we might see. The next thing is that all of the Empire VR90 insoles all came with what they called their Supernatural Pro. And it has these adjustable arch supports. So those come out, they're adjustable, and they all came with multiple sizes. I have a whole pile of these now because I've bought lots of Giro shoes. I've got an entire bag over here full of Giro insoles and their little things. You know, I don't know what will end up happening to those, because I don't actually use those. I'll talk about this maybe a separate video, but I keep 2 pair of Solstar inserts. These are a carbon plate. They're made by Solstar. I think it's a German company, and they're kind of a molded footbed. I usually keep 1 pair in my mountain bike shoes, 1 pair in my road shoes, just because I've been doing some mountain bike testing. They're both in mountain bike shoes right now. So that's, but the new Sectors, they just have this expert insole. No, they don't have the replaceable arch support. So this little step down there. So these were super comfortable. I'm gonna keep wearing them, I think. I don't know, maybe sell them, buy a pair of the white ones while they're still new. All they've done is some trainer riding. But I am a little, I'm nervous to do like a big, really important event with the BOAs, just after the various things I've seen. And when I clip into these, they feel more solid. So the carbon plate, like you feel like you can tell there's just like a slightly more solid feel as you pedal in these. So I've been on the trainer last couple of days, riding for these with an hour and then these an hour, just seeing the difference. These feel a little more like cushy around the foot, for lack of a better word, a little more comfy, surrounded a little better with this softer material. But this sole feels like a step down. Like if they had used this same sole, given the better insole, and then used this upper, and then I'd like to see the more premium inside material, I think this would be the better deal. They did lower the price on this. They are selling these for a little bit less money than what these sold for. So, whether that's good or bad, but I'd like that premium option. So I'd like them to see them put something in the lineup that's similar. The road shoe is the same thing. It's got the more premium interior. There's no insole in it right now, just 'cause swapping things around. And the last thing, these are actually a few grams lighter, despite how this upper material seems so light and thin. These are a lighter shoe by, I think it was about 40 grams per shoe, or maybe, I can't remember, it was 40 grams per shoe or 40 grams per pair. So I don't know how much that's just this full carbon sole is a little lighter than whatever they're using here, or if it's the difference in the Vibram rubber on the actual sole parts, or if it's this interior liner. I don't know where the weight comes from. These don't feel heavy, but these are lighter. So anyway, thoughts on the Giro shoe. Maybe has questions on that. I'm a big fan overall, but I'm a little disappointed that this shoe's coming out of the lineup. I guess I feel lucky. I got technically 3 pair at the moment. You know, this is still usable if I have to. Some there, at least spares. Keep the spare laces around, and you know, if there was an emergency, could wear this. You know, at least have a solid left shoe. Maybe I'll go mismatched, something like that. I'd really mess with some heads, or my mountain bike kids that I coach make fun of me, so I might do that. I mean, yeah, these road shoes are years old, but other than some scuffs on the toes, you know, I got a couple crashes in them. These are solid, so I think they're well worth the money. It's just whether or not this new version is gonna keep up with the expectations that I have. Anyway, send me some comments, likes, things like that. Have a good one.